go. Okay, I think we are good. All right. Welcome, everyone, to this month's Helium Community Call for June 25th. I can't believe it is already the end of June. It is going crazy fast. I will be your moderator today, and our note taker. Do we have waveform for note taker, just to confirm in the chat there? Looks like we do have waveform. Awesome. Thank you very much. So just a heads up, this call is recorded, so if you do come up on stage and you are speaking to anyone here about any topic, you will be recorded. Just a heads up there. And if there are any other additional agenda items, questions, or news, just ping us in the chat. Ping Waveform. He's on constantly watching the chat there as well. And we did just post the meeting agenda in the chat as well. Oops, sorry, just 1 second. Let me just mute my notifications. There we go. Okay, so as always, I like to start off with a quick safety reminder for those new to Discord or just coming back for a while. Tons of scammers out there. Please don't accept any DMs from anyone that says they are Helium support, official Helium support. Any moderators, myself, Waveform, we will not DM you first. We will not be reaching out to you to say, hey, we saw you have a problem in the Discord. We're here to help. No, that's not the way it works. We will respond to you in public. If something needs to happen in DMs, we can bring it to DMs later. However, there are a lot of scammer clones who are cloning moderators, community managers, pretending to be support. Do not talk to them. Do not click on any links. Do not input your seed words, seed phrase anywhere. Those are for your eyes only. We will never ask for them. And we will not ask you to click any links that goes into something that will ask for your seed phrase. So just please keep that in mind. If you have any questions, concerns, anything like that about the Discord itself, about scamming, any questions you may have, you feel frustrated about something, please reach out to us. Myself, Waveform, and moderators are always around to answer any questions in any channel. Feel free to ping me. Happy to answer any questions you may have or any concerns. And lastly, if you are enjoying the wallet app, the Helium wallet app, do us a favor, drop a review in the App Store. That would really make everyone pretty happy. Our team works really hard on that app, and if you have any great comments to say, please post it there. If you have any concerns, comments that you think it needs improvement, write us in the Discord. We would be happy to work through that and see if there's any features we want to add, anything that's not working, let us know, and we would be happy to work on that. I'm sure Noah would appreciate that as well. Okay, so that's out of the way. First up, we're going to do our engineering update from Noah, if Noah is around. Let's see. Do I see a wild Noah? Not seeing a Noah. Bear with me here. Let's give him a little ping, shall we? Oh, thank you very much, Mad Ninja. The wild Noah has been spotted.
Don't throw the Pokeball.
All right, Noah, you got an engineering update for us. What do you got? Take it away.
Yeah, on the protocol side, not too much going on right now. We've rolled out most of the automation stuff. I think still on the backlog is getting hotspot claim automation put into the Builder app, so that everyone that's using that and doesn't have a Helium wallet can mess with it. And then behind the scenes, we're working on some stuff that is definitely not ready for the limelight, but prototyping around how we can sort of more formally create the host deployer relationship and make it really, really easy for a deployer to go onboard a host and have everything kind of built in from having your split of HNT and having the host have a good off ramp and things like that. Yeah, right now the the prototype that I want to build is having something where a host can literally just scan a QR code on your phone and it unpacks everything really, really quickly. And then they have a dashboard to look at, the hotspot that they share with you, how much data the hotspot's been doing, and they automatically get, HMT deposited in their wallet once a month or once a day or whatever you want it to be.
Oh, that sounds super cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to play around with it. I mean, me personally, right? Like I've talked to people about deploying hotspots in coffee shops and things like that. And when I get to that point, I'm like, well, what am I going to do? Am I going to like Venmo this person once a month? Like what, how does that work? So I think a tool like this would really help with kind of 0 to 1. Like, how do you go from never having deployed a hotspot to having deployed your first hotspot? Like all the big deployers have these problems solved, right? They have hundreds of hosts. They issue 1099s and things like that. But helping smaller deployers with these tools would be really nice.
Yeah, I think that's been asked from the community for quite a while. So yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you for that. Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much, Noah. I appreciate it. Up next, we've got the grants update. Sam, I mistakenly didn't see you there for some reason.
Yes, I've been hiding right directly next to you on stage. Hopefully everyone can hear me. I'm a little bit on the go for this conference, but we'll be quick. But two important announcements. So one is obviously just like the reminder that we have this huge $50 million grant initiative for our deployers and builders. And the big piece that will be coming out in more formal comms over the next day or so is that it's now nationwide. So I know we had initially started with the New York City rollout, but we are now very willing and open to any builders in both the US and Mexico. So quick refresher, 50% off hardware once certain requirements are met for deployments of over 25. And then on the brownfield side, with a minimum of 100, offering $10 per access point just to convert those, and certain additional incentives if you commit to a higher tier of reconfigurations. The hardware grant also applies in Mexico, given that you deploy and meet the uptime requirements within one of the carrier expansion zones. So that's a call to everyone across the country to get involved. Please, helium.com/grant to submit, or else you can also always ping me via email. I'll put it in the chat after this. So that's the first announcement. The second announcement is we are actually adding a second grant, which comms will also go out for shortly, pertaining specifically to Mexico, which we're calling the Supplementary Mexico Grant. So basically, as we wait for data transfer to turn on with our dedicated carrier down there, we've selected 11 expansion zones that we deem to be of high importance. So those are the recently added Oaxaca expansion zone, as well as all of the 8, or I think it's 7, including Oaxaca, expansion zones right around the downtown Oaxaca location, and then 3 additional ones. And basically what we're offering is $5 per hotspot per day, supplementary grant payment for all the hotspots that meet requirement until either data transfer goes live or 6 months. So the earlier of those two things happening. We're basically including this grant because we know that there's been timelines that have shifted with data transfer going live in Mexico, and that can always create some uncertainty for deployers. So we really hope that this makes you guys feel super confident in your ability to sort of scale out and understand the cost and revenue associated with your deployments. So there will be way more information exactly on outlining exactly what those expansion zones are, as well as the criteria that need to be met. So expect something in the next day or two on that. So super excited about that one. We really want to get all of these expansion zones in Mexico lit up ahead of time with data transfer coming. So yeah, that's pretty much what I got this week, Keenan. I think I'll do some more robust updates on non-coverage grants in the next call. But that's it for now.
That's perfect, Sam. Thank you. And so Waveform put a link to the helium.com/grant link in the chat there for you if you want to jump in and take a look.
I'm sorry. Can I add one more thing to that, which is
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
this grant is not only for new deployments in the 11 expansion zones I'm referencing, it will also, as of June 1st, so retroactively to the beginning of this month, grandfather in hotspots that are already in those areas. So if you've already done the work to deploy, you'll get $5 per hotspot per day dating back to June 1st. So that should be a nice little sweetener there.
Oh, that's fantastic. That is awesome. And you said there's going to be news on that in the next day or two.
Yep. Obviously, people are going to want the specifics on, hey, like what exactly are these expansion zones and what is the criteria that has to be met. So that is like imminently coming.
Cool. Yeah, you said you're going to drop your email in there, so please
Yep.
do. And
I will drop my email. Yeah, one more thing. I'll drop my email in there, and just so you know, the form to qualify for that will be on the same page as the existing Mexico grants. So everything will be consolidated in one place in terms of routing folks to the right area.
Fantastic. And I assume people can reach out to you in the foundation channel in our Discord.
Correct. Yeah, I'll go into the chat right now and add some detail.
Awesome. That is pretty exciting. Thank you, Sam. Okay, next up, we've got a mobile plans update from Cokes. Cokes, let me see if I can bring you up here.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Take it away.
So plans update. So we launched the Kids plan that we've called Sprout a couple weeks ago. We also have the Infinity plan for kids and the Air plan for kids. So that's been going really well. That's for people that, obviously have kids and concerned about their location sharing permission. So those plans are strictly location sharing disabled, but it also means that the Sprout plan comes in at $5 a month, but also allows for unlimited calling and texting, so you can stay connected to your kids without needing to worry about caps. So that's a really exciting development for us. We are encouraged to see it grow, and we've never really been able to provide plans for kids in the past, and now we can. So invite your family, your friends, kids, whoever. Can't wait for you guys to all use your plan on Helium Mobile. Other updates, I think it was mapping requirements. So for the free plan, we're going to start educating and letting folks know if, let's say, their location permissions are not set up correctly, or if we aren't seeing valid mapping events. Obviously, we'll phrase it in ways that the typical customer will understand, and not this community that's very much in tune with the language and nomenclature that we use. But be on the lookout for that.
Cool. And I think there was an update for IDV as well.
So on the IDV front, we've made a couple of changes there. So it's not for everybody that this change will be for, but for some people, you will not be asked to provide a photo of your government ID or your selfie.
Got it. That makes sense. Yes, sorry. IDV equals identity verification. For those who don't know the jargon. Thank you, Hashcode. Appreciate it. Cool. All right. Well, thank you, Cokes. Anything else to add before I move on?
That's it for me.
Cool. Thank you so much. All right. Next up, events from British Guy. Take it away.
Hello.
How are you?
Not bad. So this month it's not as crazy busy as last month was. So I'm just got a little update to give you today. Obviously it's permissionless going on in New York, so I've got the team there in town running around at that event. We had a buyer speaking on stage. His two topics is Deepin real alongside Dragonfly, EV3, and Plain Text Capital. And then another one that he was on stage speaking about yesterday at the main conference was Deepin disruption of traditional business models alongside Glow, Inference.net, and 375 AI. Now, if you weren't able to catch it IRL, obviously on the helium.com/road trip, once I've got the video recordings of that, we will put those links up on that website as well, so you can log in and catch those talks. And then this is just your friendly reminder. Also, very excited for Breakpoint, December 10th. Be there, Abu Dhabi. Hopefully next month I'll be able to have the link live for everyone and we can start signing people up for that. So day 0, as Breakpoint's calling it, their new Helium Beach House. It's going to be a good one. The venue's locked in. It's exciting. So busy planning that one out as we speak.
Cool. Are we calling it Helium Beach House?
Well, I hope so. It's got a lovely little beach and bring your swimwear. It'll be fun. It'll be a good venue.
You know what? I am forever going to refer to it now as Helium Beach House. That is awesome.
I love a beach. Why not?
Yeah, that's exciting. And for those who haven't been to Breakpoint, I really suggest you go. Breakpoint itself is just such a great event, and obviously the addition of Helium House is just icing on the cake, right? Like that's amazing. So, thank you for your work on that, Nikki.
So I just saw the quick question in the in the chat there. Thanks for the tag there. Yes, the plan is that there'll be lots of programming during the day. We'll have the team all in town to put on some content as well. So that will be going on alongside sort of then having a place to decompress after everyone flying in. So it's a mixture of both. It'll be a real full scale Helium House with production of talks and everything. Yes, 100%.
And lots of stickers, I hope.
Lots of stickers and socks.
Excellent. Thank you, Nikki. Really appreciate the update there.
All right. Cheers.
All right. I did post a link in the chat as well for helium.com/roadtrip so you can follow along with the events that are happening. All right. Next up, we've got new HIPs. And the first one is HIP 145 Mobile Utility Probing. Boris, if you want to talk on that one, that would be great.
Yep. Hey, everybody. So it's progressing nicely. We have a channel for the HIP. What the HIP is about is replacing DOC framework for now just in the US using the concept called utility probing. Utility probing will involve subscribers from our participating offload carriers attempting to connect to the indoor and the outdoor hotspots, and we'll be counting the number of attempts, and based on the number of attempts, we'll be determining the amount of DOC reward for each of the hotspots. Moreover, we'll be collecting the front haul metrics from the hotspots in the process and using that to effectively accelerate the process of hotspot inclusion into the MNO offload program. In conjunction with this, we are also proposing to eliminate the CDR requirements for the hotspots. And right now, the stage that's at is we have received approvals for basically using this framework from the participating MNOs. The HIPs published the channels there. The last biggest outstanding item that will be discussed at the mobile work group most likely tomorrow is the algorithm as it pertains to indoor versus outdoor. We have a detailed breakdown and a proposal for how the POC should be calculated across all hotspots. But I think that there's been some apt comments throughout the discussion that the indoor and outdoor, for a variety of reasons, might observe a dramatically different number of connections. So we're gathering data internally to see if that is correct, and if so, then there's going to be some adjustments with respect to how points are accumulated between these two types of hotspots to affect the rewards. So after that iteration, the HIP will be updated, hopefully with the final set of changes, and then we'll go for a vote. If it passes, then it will be included in the roadmap for most likely, it looks like at this point, July. The other important thing I wanted to mention is the plan for this HIP to be rolled out is in stages. So we're not planning to immediately into POC the second we start calculating the utility using this method. The plan is to first roll it out in kind of a ghost mode, so to speak, where we'll just be counting connections across all hotspots using this method for about 30 days. And if the stats are aligning with what we've outlined in the HIP and everything is working as planned, we'll push that to live. So that's the status of that HIP.
Cool. Yeah, I see Waveform posted a link to the HIP in the chat, as well as a link to the newly created channel for it. So if you're looking to get some information about this HIP specifically, or you have any questions, jump into the name of the channel is HIP 145 Utility Probing. Jump in there. Lots of good conversations happening, as well as a link to the HIP itself is in that channel. So if you have any questions, pop them in there. Thank you, Boris. I'm going to keep you up on here for your next section as well. Just a heads up. Thank you. Next up, we've got HIP 146, IoT seat fees for sensors. Neil, if you want to talk on that one.
Hey, yeah, so it's not a new idea. We've been talking about it for a very long time. The IoT network is too cheap to run. It's too cheap to use it, sorry. The goal of this hit was to talk about that price issue, and we've been discussing it for what's got to be more than close to a year now, in depth about how we can do this. And everyone's kind of come together and basically said seat fees is the way to do it. So how this would work is that, and we don't obviously charge for joins on the network, on the IoT network, so we only do it on uplinks. So the first uplink in a day will be charged, think of it as a prepayment for the day, of 275 uplinks. So they can, on the first uplink of the day, they charge that amount, and they can use up to that amount, and they won't be charged anymore. Any they use on top is paid for. So this basically allows users that are using quite a lot of data on the network to not be paying more than they are now. And it seems everybody's happy with this idea. So it works out to basically $1 a year per device. I think that's very competitive. In the LoRaWAN market, the cheapest quote that I've ever seen at huge volumes is 11 cents a month. So it's much lower than that. It's very, very, very competitive. And yeah, the idea is to just charge the seat fees. There were alternatives discussed, like just increasing the cost of DC, how many DC are used per uplink. But there was some calculations done a while back by JMF that show even at full tilt, if the hotspot was being bombarded with traffic, it will never generate enough for a reasonable return to keep that hotspot online. I think his figures are something like trying to achieve something like $30 a year per hotspot. So, at the current prices, that's just not possible to ever get near there. You would need an insane amount of traffic to make this possible. So this kind of aligns everything. There's about 320,000 devices on the network, which I find incredible. That is a huge amount of devices. But the problem is where it's so cheap, we don't see the benefits of that. So, if we took that number, and this is just assuming that everyone's going to be paying more, we could see up to, $800 a day in data credit bands. So it's quite a huge jump. And then if we look at what kind of growth we have on the IoT network, it's not the best right now. It's not the worst. It's still growth of 5%. That could take us to closer to 1,600 a day within a year. So not everyone will be paying more. There are companies that uplink very fast, so they won't be paying any more. But the lower users that may use it once a day or 24 times a day, they're basically paying for the network to be kept up. The idea of this is that the revenue from this data transfer is actually returned back to the hotspots. So the idea at the moment is say 7 hotspots hear that sensor over a day. any overage that isn't being used in that day for DC is split between them. So it's a great way of non-POC earnings and really supporting the network and the hotspots that are doing the most for the network. There are a couple of caveats. Sorry, the one caveat is that networks like Actility or external networks like that, they don't submit device keys, so we have no way to count. So the proposal there is that roaming partners should pay more than it is for seat fees within in the IoT network. So if you're a direct Helium customer, it would be cheaper than roaming on Helium. But there, it will just be a flat fee increase.
Yeah, so just on that note, I see a comment from Joey in the chat there that says that device count that you quoted is a floor, and roaming devices are
Yes.
largely unaccounted for.
Exactly, yeah.
Got it. And you mentioned with seat fees, you'd be looking at roughly 800 a day in revenue. Can you just say what it is currently?
It's $100 a day right now. That number's assuming that no one's using more than $1 a day per device. Obviously, it's going to be lower than that, but you will notice an increased jump. That's just basically if you look at the growth pattern of 5% over a year versus what we have now, you actually notice that new traffic coming on board. But right now, it's like in a year's time we might get to $200. But in a year's time, with this kind of seat fee thing in place, if it's accepted well, we might see $1,600 to $2,000 a day. So it's quite a big boost for the network. We wouldn't be reliant on POC earnings. We'd actually be reliant on data credit earnings. It's incredible. That's what it should be.
Cool. Yeah, that's
evident.
Beautiful. Thank you, Neil. Again, Waveform has posted a link to the HIP in the chat, as well as a, again, newly created channel called HIP 146 IoT seat fees for sensors. You can find that in the governance and HIP section of the Discord. Thank you for that explanation. That is fantastic. All right, just checking to see if there's any questions first before moving on. Okay, I think we're good. All right. Next up, we've got the working group updates. So first up, we'll do the mobile working group. Boris, if you want to give that one a shot.
Yeah. So I did an update on the utility probing HIP, which is probably a vast majority of the discussions we've been having during the last few weeks. There is a new list of voted members in the odd class. The election, I think, just closed on June 13th. If you guys are unaware, you can go to the heliumvote.com and check out the new odd class members. And probably the biggest thing that's worth mentioning is that there's been sort of an emerging narrative in the mobile community about the possibility of undoing the boosted hexes. There is a lot of still outstanding kind of gaming happening. People, like the boosted locations, tend to be cesspools for attracting bad actors. A number of community members have raised validly concerns that perhaps we no longer need hex boosting, particularly in the paradigm where we're moving towards measuring utility with utility probing. At this point, we are at the stage where we are just gathering stats on which boosts are still outstanding and how many hexes are there that's been boosted but have never been activated. And armed with the stats, we want to have a more substantiated discussion with the community, starting the mobile working group tomorrow, about potentially the path to phase out boosting. The distinct rationale for doing it in the US is fairly clear because we have high density of users and moving to the utility probing paradigm. Probing by itself will indirectly boost areas of high utility, so we don't really need to manually boost locations per se. The big outstanding question is Telefonica engagement in Mexico, where we'll be gradually activating users and we won't have the potentially necessary density to fully replace what hex boosting does. However, more and more that area is driven through the grants program. You heard that there's a specifically Mexico-oriented grants program now, so that could be a way to alleviate it. But if you're interested in this topic, join the mobile working group tomorrow, and we'll have a bit more of a discussion on it at that point. And that's it.
Thank you, Boris. And yeah, as Boris mentioned, you can join up on the mobile working group. Excuse me. Calls happen every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific. You can find the calls in Discord by clicking the events button in your Discord app. Click that. You'll see the mobile working group. You can hit the little bell icon there, and it will remind you every week of that call. Jump in, make your voice heard. It'd be great to see you there. Okay, and those are recorded, by the way, so they'll be posted in the mobile working group channel. You can, if you missed the call for that week, jump back in. They'll be in the pins, and you can listen to the call. All right, next up, we've got an update from the IoT working group. Joey, if you want to handle that one.
I should have had Neil do it. He crushed it with the the data credit pricing conversation. So yeah, the IoT working group has been busy discussing matters like that, as well as sort of overseeing the grant-facing side of opportunities for the IoT network. I guess mirroring a little bit of what Boris was talking about, we also just closed an election. So re-invited a couple of existing members back to the group. So their support in making all of those decisions is greatly appreciated. There's one outstanding HIP that I'm in HIP mode. There's one outstanding grant proposal that we have to take a look at that'll probably happen next week. And this is from Bones, who's based in Australia, if I remember correctly. But he's proposing to build additional tooling for LMS operators to easily stand up their own LoRaWAN network server. And then Starwatcher has been quite busy with all sorts of things, just making sure that the deny list continues to operate. And then we're starting to scope some additional classifiers. He has some unique ideas for different ways to suss out nefarious hotspots on the network and make sure everything is operating smoothly. So I think that probably covers it. Just do a quick update this week. But yeah, feel free to ask us questions. All of the the working group members are around. They're usually easy to ask questions from.
Cool. Thank you, Joey. Appreciate it. And yeah, the IoT working group meets every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. Once again, you can see that call in the events tab in Discord, and also they are recorded every week. So if you miss it, jump into the IoT working group channel, and you can click the pins and find all the previous recordings. All right, thank you very much. And last up, we've got upcoming votes. Waveform, if you want to take that one.
Yeah, is my mic working again?
Yep, sound great.
Okay. Yes, so there was a possibility of something going in the HRP for July at the last minute, but that hasn't gone through. So next month's vote will be a no changes vote as before, as the previous month. But we expect it to be quite busy again coming up in a month's time. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that coming up next month, people may remember from HIP 141 that delegations, where you delegate to IoT or mobile, will be they will be disabled unless you've redelegated during July. So you must confirm your delegation or change a delegation or start a delegation for it to be active. got to do this during July, and it starts UTC 00 on July the 1st. And if you do that after that date, it will be valid for the next year. Any delegations you have now or any that you do before the 1st of July, you need to do again after the 1st of July. But after the 1st of July, you can do it at any time. But that's a reminder that to receive income or the ability to claim eligible for rewards on your staked positions, you need to be voting regularly. So you have at least 2 of the most recent 4, and that you've got a valid delegation after July. Not delegating, you don't have to do it. It doesn't affect your ability to vote, but to have the facility to be able to claim rewards from your staking positions, you must redelegate in July, and you must be voting in 2 of the most recent 4 votes.
So just a quick note on that would be you can also proxy your vote, correct? And that would still count?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so if you have a busy life and you can't kind of check on these things, proxy your vote to one of the proxies in the app. And just a quick explainer for delegations as well. So correct me if I'm wrong, but you're going to go into your Helium app, the governance section, your stake positions, and redelegate in there, correct?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Sorry, I cut you off there. Waveform, go ahead.
Yeah, well, your current delegation, you will have to undelegate and redelegate.
Got it.
And as Farabee says, yes, they need to be refreshed in July, or they'll be inactive on the 1st of August.
All right. So yeah, get in there and get redelegating, I guess. we'll set reminders, I'm sure.
Yep, and there are different people requesting you to delegate to both of the different networks. I just did some calculations, and I expect that due to decays, if nobody changes their delegations whatsoever, then the split is going to be roughly 36% to IoT and 64% to mobile. But we're expecting a lot of changes.
Right. Okay. Anything else to add, Waveform?
Not at the moment. No, there'll be lots of more communication on this, but this is just a reminder.
Perfect. Yeah, it looks like we're what are we, about a week away from July 1st. So yeah, we'll have more messaging on that for sure coming out.
Yeah, and a major more focus on it for the community call next month.
Yes, perfect. Okay, and I think that brings us to the end of the call. I think we're just, let me double check here, make sure I've got everything. Yep, I think we're good. So next call will be July 23rd. The community call happens the last Wednesday of the month. And yeah, if you have any agenda items, questions about anything, anything you want to talk about next month, feel free to ping myself, Waveform, anywhere in the Discord. We can chat about it and get you added to the agenda. And this call, like I said, is recorded. It will be posted shortly after we're finished here in the Foundation channel. You can find all the previous calls there as well. And yeah, I think that brings us to the end. I'm just taking a look to see if there's any questions, and I think everything has been addressed. So thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you to all the speakers today, and we will see you next month. And yeah, enjoy the lovely warm weather out there. All right, have a good one, everyone.